sit. Don't touch my cup, you know how I sip. Hey, got your long. I made her when I showed out my whip. Hey, spent my 10 on my fit. X slick, then hit with the back then, used to out the zip. Blind as back, then dip. Got a whole party all on the ship. All these four things pull out the VIP. Suck, turn up, baby, pour out the milk. So you know how I drip.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
Let's go! Henry! Mike is 59. Mike to 59. I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. They'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. 2nd and 9 now. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. He'll look to throw. Complete. It's Johnson. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them. And
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Looking to throw. And the catch made here by Sharon Peak.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
The Panthers turn to their nickel set here as they get ready for third down.
Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
Back to throw here. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how we wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is when we find out what he has underneath that jersey. Because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
Here's a 2nd and 7. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he's got this down to the 35. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. They'll drop the throw. Got his target, Samuel. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
He'll set up to throw. And this is caught by Watkins. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. The confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
And his kick is good. And the Panthers stake claim to a 3-0 lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. The throw right sideline here is complete. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first down.
Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Vernon Hargreaves with a pick, and he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Johnson was the intended receiver. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
That's going to be caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one goes for 24 yards. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. On the ground, McCaffrey. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. Again, McCaffrey. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Can this Vikings D hold up one more time? 3rd and goal. They're going to look to throw. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12.
And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they get a monster sack. And now they're going to force them into a field goal. For them, that's a win.
And this one is right through. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Man, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Switch it. Come on, switch it. Hey, switch gears. 22, jet cover. 22, jet cover.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Brian Burns just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They give to Johnson going right. It'll be a gain of about 5, but they're left with a 3rd and still about 12 to go.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Check Mike 27. All day, baby, all day.
They'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
And that will skip out of bounds right at about the 18-yard line.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And their 2 drives thus far both led to points, albeit both field goals, so the lead just 6-0, but the ability to move the ball is evident.
No, that's, heartening, as they say, but it's not what they're about. What they're about is putting the ball in the end zone and putting 6s on the board. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you like what you're doing, but you don't love it. You've got to find a way to ring that bell. Then you can have a little self-satisfied grin. Right now, a little more determination is needed.
Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And down to the 19-yard line. It's a Carolina first down on a gain of 16.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Flush to his right. He's going to take off with it. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. 3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They find themselves down 13-0 here as they try to get things started offensively. 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. It's complete to Diggs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Mike, check.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Johnson running right. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The Vikings on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8.
Check Mike 27. Check Mike 27.
They'll set up a throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it. And a great return as he gets... this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9.
52. Block 52. 52.
He'll drop to throw. He'll get this to McCaffrey out of the backfield. And this will not get close to the 1st down marker as he's brought down at the 26.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And you're under a minute to go in the half. A first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
A first throw here for the backup Taylor. Going deep, and that's caught inside the 35. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Here's Johnson. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. First red zone chance now for the Vikings. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Now it's Taylor. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Taylor incomplete on first down. Here's second and 10.
Watch left. He's tight right there. Everyone go. Shut up.
To throw again. Taylor. And Diggs has it. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
It's a gain of 14 yards. That's another Vikings first down.
This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime.
Come on, boy. You better be ready. Rotate. Bill. Ready, go.
Here's Taylor. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
At their own 4-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. He got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And this is caught by Watkins. 11 yards and a Panther first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Now back to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking to get that one to DJ Moore, and it's 3rd down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going back to Moore. This time he's got him complete. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. From Viking territory now, they'll come on 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. Oh, he's got some breathing room. 20. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey with his second touchdown of the game and fifth on the year. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. The extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Check 3, check 3, check 3. Check 4, check 4. Kill. Hey, turn it up. Check safety. Set, go.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Got what he needed for the first down with a gain of 2. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now they'll throw with Taylor. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
To throw again on 2nd down, Taylor.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Minus 50. Let's go, defense.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that will be caught by Moore. He's got a Panthers touchdown. DJ Moore. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Panthers use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now. Really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up! Yeah. Let's get moving, guys."
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. On first down, here's Love. And some room to maneuver. That good for 22 on a first down.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph. Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something in a 3-4 you don't normally get because the nose tackle who got the sack, he's usually responsible or ends up getting double-teamed and sometimes triple-teamed. How about him working his way back and putting the big guy on the ground? I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. Sammy Watkins, he's going to go. Touchdown, Carolina. Sammy Watkins, 78 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Mike is 59. Mike to 59. Hey, D-line. Jack 16.
From the 27, Roethlisberger. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. This one winding toward a conclusion. And how would you assess how the secondary has played?
Well, we just saw them take another shot downfield that was incomplete, correct?
Correct.
So my assessment is that if anyone's played really well in this game, it's been the secondary. That was the latest example.
Yeah, they've been solid. Really, the whole defense has been solid. Still pitching a shutout.
Hey, orbit.
They'll try and throw for it with Roethlisberger. And this one complete to Smith. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. Jason Garrett might be wanting to reconsider the decision to go for it there. And the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. Now this one complete on the slant route. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 23-yard line.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And a short gain here, down to the 22. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the...
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Running to start the drive is Love. And he'll be taken down at the 18. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Roethlisberger now just 3 of 6 throwing, but that last completion gets a 1st down. They're going to get about 3 here out of this 1st down run, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A gain there of 21 yards.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They're still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. On the toss, here's Johnson. And he's taken down inside the 30. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the 1st.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Mike is there. Check 59. Mike is 59. Mike the... Easy. I'm coming for you. You mine. Hey, seam 6. Mike.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Brian Burns able to record his 5th sack of the season. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. To throw here, Roethlisberger. He'll get this one complete to Davis. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Nick Perry with a pick. And the return will stop right around the 25. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give the tackle there to Daniil Hunter.
1 yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 8.
They'll run with McCaffrey. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Easy work. It's easy work, and it's coming again.
It's a gain of 2 yards. And it's 3rd down.
So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as